Storytelling helps you sell more at your local farmers markets. People don't just buy your product, they buy your story. Too many vendors just sell, they produce, they bring a product to the market, they put it on a display and they hope that it's going to sell itself. Your story equals a connection to your customer, instant trust, and repeat buyers. Let's talk about how to turn your booth into a story that sells for you. I'm Bill Davenport with Anchored Market Ventures and the Florida Alliance of Farmers Markets. We're all about helping vendors succeed. If you'd love to support us, if you get value out of our videos, we have some great resource guides and books like Farmers Market Success and Homestead to Farmers Market Profits. You can go on our website listed here on the screen. We'll have it down in the description, but all your purchases help us keep doing what we do to support you and to bring you guys videos and tutorials and stuff to help you succeed at your local farmers markets. But getting back into it, why stories matter. It builds an authentic connection between you and your customer. When you build that connection through story, your customers remember you. It's a memorable encounter, something that your customers don't easily forget. According to the Edelman Trust and Barometer, 81% of customers say they need to trust a brand before they buy it. And storytelling is a great way to build that trust, to build that connection. Shoppers want authenticity, they want transparency, they want to feel the personality of the brand, of the person growing, producing, raising, and making their products. An example would be a honey vendor. If a honey vendor just comes and sets honey on a table or on a couple displays, and they just put wildflower honey or orange blossom honey or Tupelo honey on it, that's very bland. It's hard to build a connection. You just become another honey vendor amongst the sea of honey vendors. Honey vendors aren't just selling honey, but you could phrase it as we're bottling the wildflowers of the season with our wildflower honey, or come taste the season of the Tupelo. Whatever it is, you're not just selling honey, but when you tell the story on how you collect and how you harvest, all of that builds that connection with your customers and increases your sales. According to the Nutcracker Agency, which is kind of a marketing and multimedia agency, according to them, if people love a brand story, they're 55% more apt to buy from that brand in the future, and they're 15% more likely to buy from that brand immediately if they connect. So that kind of shows there's a lot of power with storytelling. That leads us into, how do you craft your story? How do you tell your story? How do you relay your story? Well, it's really boils down to a four-part system for telling your story. It's going to break down into the origin, the values, product, and the benefit to your customer. If you hit those four steps in telling your story, you're going to make that connection. It's going to be strong, and you're going to build that rapport with your customer, and it's going to help inspire them and encourage them to purchase from you. So we can kind of start with the origin. That's the basic. Why did you start? So why did you start your business? Was it because you wanted to provide healthier food to your local community? Was it to solve a medical problem that you or your family was experiencing? Was it to go low impact on the environment? There's a lot of different reasons to your origin story, but you want to tell the folks why you're doing what you do. Then your values. What matters to you? Does it matter that you're local, that you're sustainable, that you're a family farm, that you're using traditional methods? Whatever it is, you want to relay to them your values, because people connect with values that they either agree with, that apply to them. All of that resonates with folks, and it gives them another reason to connect with you. And then your product. What makes your product unique? Is it old fashioned, handmade? Are your plants, your vegetables grown from heirloom seeds? Are you no chemical, no pesticide, regenerative farming? All of that stuff goes into the story part of your product. People want to know what separates you, what makes you unique, and then how does it benefit the customer? Why it helps them? Is it fresh, picked that week? Is it clean, no chemicals, no pesticide? Where did it come from? How local to your market is it? Um, does it solve a problem for your customer? All of that, you really want to convey how your product benefits your customer. And nutrition is a great one. So, brands with strong storytelling see about a 20 to 30% higher conversion rate. And that's according to the Headstream study. So, again, that's just another reason why storytelling is super important as a farmer's market vendor. And then that leads us into show it in your booth. You want to be able to show your story in your booth. You can do simple signboards of our story, have a sign up on one of your tent posts that says our story. There's a lot of vendors out there that I see at the markets that do a really good job of that. I'll use we have a vendor that's a military family. They're the entire family was Army, and the entire family helps on their farm, and they have a picture collage of the origins, the growth, some of the struggles, and where they're at now and where they want to go. It's a great way of showing their story, and they have it at every market that they do. They have it on their website, and then they also do posts periodically on their social media about their story, about their origin. So it doesn't have to be super elaborate, but it can be simple, and that makes the connection. You can add micro signs that say something like, this is made, or, this is grandma's special recipe from our 2-acre farm. Anything like that helps inside your booth tell your story. One of the things you want to be mindful about when having pictures and different signs up to tell your story is you don't want to let it clutter. So you want to make sure it's clean, it fits your layout, and let your space and those signs tell a story. It's one of those adages where less is more. It really can start that conversation, and then you finish the story through having that conversation with your customers and shoppers that come into your booth. Another great way is on your story about me sign, or the story about us, is putting a QR code. A QR code, instead of listing out, having a big story written out on your sign, you can say learn more, just scan the QR code, and then that takes them to your social media page, takes the person to your website, to your about you page, or your Instagram or Facebook that has your stories. So QR codes are a great resource and a great tool to use to help share your story. And you can really go more in depth on those platforms than what you could inside your booth. And then you are a giant part of your brand. You're that interaction, that linchpin with the customer. So you, with your smile, having that conversation with the shoppers that come by your booth, you can really grab their attention, you can really make that connection, and you can be the difference between that shopper going to somebody else or staying at your booth and making that purchase. Visual storytelling boost recall by people around 65%. So if somebody reads something um, or hears something, they don't tend to remember it. It kind of gets washed, lost in the wash of everything that people hear throughout the day. But if they see it and you show them your story, it's about a 65% better retention for that customer. And that means you got about a 65% better chance of that customer coming back to your booth. According to the brand shop B&W, 92% of customers want brands that make their ads feel like a story. So again, it goes back to storytelling is super, super important. And it's probably more important for small businesses, small farms, homesteaders, ranchers, farmers, producers, and makers. And then that leads us into what market managers can do. So I know we have a lot of market managers that watch our videos. What can you do to help? When vendors make their post on social media, share those posts on your farmers market social media page. Share if you have a newsletter for your market, share it in your newsletter. Um, you can create a meet the vendor wall at the market. Have a wall that by your information booth or wherever you designate a spot in your market, but put stories and rotate stories of your different vendors on that wall. Um, Encourage your vendors to constantly make posts and to brand. And I'll throw this caveat in there from a market manager perspective. A lot of vendors do multiple markets on a Saturday. A Saturday is a busy day, or whatever day that they're doing markets. Encourage them to make posts for each one of the markets that they do. Don't lump all of their make one post and say, I'm going to be at these 6 different locations. One, it benefits the vendor by having multiple pieces of content out there. So the likelihood it's going to get seen by somebody is better. But a lot of markets don't like to share other markets and other events um, on their market page. So when you have multiple pieces, it kind of it helps everybody. It helps that market share the vendor content, and it helps the vendor by having multiple pieces of content out there to get picked up in the algorithm. And then, as a market, you can do short little workshops, whether they're virtual or in person. You can run short story branding and story building workshops to help your vendors get better and create a good story put together that flows so that they can market and brand. And then you can use that at your market to share and highlight your vendors. And then just remember farmers markets are full of stories. There's magic in every one of your vendors that are out there. So make sure you capture that energy, capture the customers, capture the vendors, and share that with the market community because that's going to help your vendors at the market. But just kind of closing, landing the airplane on all of this, every product, every vendor, every brand has a story, and it is super important for you as a farmers market vendor and also as a farmers market manager to share those stories, to tell them. If you don't tell your own story, nobody else is going to tell the story for you. Just write a simple 30-second vendor story, practice it all week, and then just pick your phone up. Just something like this right here. When you're walking at the market or you're in your booth, just put it up. Hi, I'm so and so. I'm at such and such market. Here's a little bit about me. I started back in 1997. We started growing this heirloom tomato line, and it's super nutrient nutritious, it's high in nutrients, and we would love to have you come out to the market and try them and just taste the difference. You know, something like that is quick, it's easy. Don't worry about it being perfect. We're all full of flaws, so it's okay if your videos are full of flaws. No one's going to critique it, but if you don't do it, people aren't going to learn about you. If you found value in this video, we'd love to have you give the video a thumbs up. We'd love to hear comments from you guys. Are you putting stories out there about you and your startup and your success? What would you like to hear us comment on a video? So if you have a pain point, something you're struggling with, let us know in the comments. We'd love to dive into it with you and help you, because we're all here to succeed. And again, another great way you can support us is going to our website, to our store, purchasing one of our books. We got some great vendor bundles on there and market manager bundles. But at the end of the day, I hope this helps, and we can't wait to see you guys out at the markets.